Welcome to our ParentCon2020 video for Deal Breastfeeding Support Group. My name is Thea and I'm going to be talking to you today about breastfeeding support, why it's important and why you might visit a breastfeeding support group. Currently, due to COVID-19, no face-to-face in-person support is able to happen. However, we have continued to offer support online through weekly Zoom meetings, and these can be accessed through our Deal Breastfeeding Support Group Facebook page. They happen on a Monday from 2 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and on a Monday morning we post a link on our Facebook page for you to join the Zoom group in the afternoon. You don't have to have breastfeeding questions or breastfeeding problems to come along to the group. Anyone's welcome to join. If you just want to come along and chat to some other parents, then that's absolutely fine. We'd love to have you. We've also continued to offer online support through our Facebook Messenger and through email, so you can contact us through those channels whilst we're unable to hold our normal group. For the rest of this video, I'm going to be talking about support groups as they were before COVID and how hopefully we will soon be able to resume. So, what is a breastfeeding support group? What does it look like and how does it work? Generally, like our support group, they will be run by or assisted by volunteers. It might take place in a cafe, it might be in a rented room, or it might be an addition to a preschool playgroup. At Deal Breastfeeding Support Group, we meet in a room of St George's Church in Deal, on the High Street. We like to have a relaxed feel to our group, and all family members are always welcome. We welcome partners, dads, grandparents, siblings to come along to the group too. We like to set our group out so we have chairs and sofas in a circle with baby mats and toys in the centre. We also have a separate area for older children to play. By having the chairs in a circle, we hope that everyone will feel included in any discussions that happen, and everyone can chat to each other. We also have access to a small kitchen, which we're very lucky to have, which means that we can have cups of tea and coffee, cakes and biscuits, and in the busy life of a parent, being able to sit down and relax for 20 minutes, half an hour, and have someone make you a cup of tea is a really valuable, wonderful thing. Some support groups may run in a slightly different way. For example, it might be a support group that actually likes you to arrange and book an appointment. And it's always a good idea to figure out what's local to you, familiarise yourself with what's available, even before baby's born, and usually a quick internet search or asking your midwife or health visiting team will point you in the right direction for figuring this out. At our group, parents are very welcome to visit before baby arrives, and it's actually something that I think is a really good idea. It can be really helpful as you can ask any questions you might have. You can discuss any worries that might be about breastfeeding, or it might be chatting to some other parents who've recently had babies about what the local hospital or birthing centre's like and how they found things. And we also have a lot of really useful leaflets and a big library of books which parents are very, very welcome to borrow. It also means that you've met a few faces and the place is a bit more familiar, and it may be a little less scary and anxious to go along to the group once baby arrives. A support group like ours will often be linked to a breastfeeding charity, and our group, Deal Breastfeeding Support Group, is under the umbrella of the ABM, the Association of Breastfeeding Mothers. And our supporters are trained through them and receive regular update training. We have a number of mother supporters at our group who are peer supporters who have breastfed for at least 6 months, and they are trained to have a basic general knowledge of breastfeeding. They offer the support of a well-informed friend. They can help point parents in the direction of good information, factual information, and they will also be trained to identify when mum needs to speak to someone more qualified, such as a breastfeeding counsellor, a lactation consultant, a health visitor or a GP. At Deal, we currently have 1 trainee breastfeeding counsellor and 1 qualified breastfeeding counsellor, which is myself. At the ABM, you receive around 2 years of training to become a breastfeeding counsellor, and this means that you're able to identify and support parents through a much wider range of breastfeeding issues and problems. And again, you will also be able to identify when that parent might need to be referred on to somebody more qualified, such as a lactation consultant or a healthcare professional. ABM breastfeeding counsellors are also trained to answer calls on the National Breastfeeding Helpline, which is an absolutely fantastic service that's run by volunteers. It's open every day of the year from 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and anyone can call the helpline to ask any questions they have about breastfeeding. So why might you visit a breastfeeding support group? At our group in Deal, we actually find that there are a number of reasons why somebody might visit a support group. Someone might be having problems with breastfeeding and they might want and need to come along and speak to someone one-to-one and get some really good support. A parent might have some more general day-to-day questions. For example, they might want to know about what's good breastfeeding clothes and where you might buy them, or a bit more about what's normal baby behaviour. And they're often really, really common questions and themes of conversation that happen at our group. It may be that for some parents, breastfeeding is going swimmingly and they don't really have any questions, but they want to come along for the social side of the group. And we always feel that that is also a really, really important part of what we're there for. As well as providing accurate information and support, we're there to create a welcoming community, somewhere where you can find your tribe of parents and you can support each other through the tricky and wonderful times of parenting. We have parents who visit us week on week on a regular basis, well into their children's preschool years and well after their children have finished on their breastfeeding journeys. And we see lifelong friendships form between people, and that's a really wonderful, rewarding part of what we do. Finally, I was thinking about why is breastfeeding support important? And I came to think about this year's World Breastfeeding Week, which was celebrated at the beginning of August. And the focus this year was on how breastfeeding has such a massive impact on all aspects of life. It's so important for our planet's sustainability and for human existence. And breastfeeding can actually be linked to all 17 Sustainable Development Goals set out by the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit. Breastfeeding is so important to families for such a wide variety of reasons, and good breastfeeding support is really, really key to that. At our group, our main thing is to empower parents. We want to support and empower them to breastfeed for as long as they wish to. Thank you very much for listening to this video from Deal Breastfeeding Support Group.